Hello, everyone, and welcome to Putting the Pot in the Hard Place. Finally, I'm Stephen Cole.
And I am Chris Kirkpatrick. And man, I was a little bit worried there for a second.
Yeah, I hope that we can gain some people back because I know that it was scheduled and then something happened and it accidentally ended the broadcast and it just went away. So I had to recreate the broadcast again really quickly and then get us back up. It was really strange. I think I need to go through and clear out some of the old episodes because when StreamYard, when you stream a show, it saves the recording. And so I got this alert and I panicked and I accidentally turned off the broadcast. So what happened was this won't save the recording of this on the StreamYard server. It'll just broadcast and then be done. But had I realized that before I clicked the button, then we would have been fine. But I'll go through sometime tomorrow and clear off all the older ones because there's really no point in keeping them all because if we need to re-download the video, we can just do that later.
Absolutely. I gotta say, at least we rolled with it and we're restarting. Gotta say, I love the shirt.
Oh yeah, this is actually a Funko Pop shirt, but it's still licensed. It's not like a bootleg or anything.
Right.
But yeah, it was one of those Walmart things or whatever. It's like $10 or like $15, whatever it was.
Yeah, I totally need a Hellfire Club shirt.
I don't like the sleeves, and I know some people are like, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be made. But I know they make these types of shirts with the regular short sleeves. And the box said short sleeve t-shirt, and it had a picture of an actual short sleeve. And then the other ones had pictures with the sleeves that looked like this. And so I was a little disappointed, but then I realized it's like an extra 2 inches. I could just do this and be fine.
Right.
And it's actually a comfortable shirt. I love the feel. I wish I had this kind of shirt. And I think I looked up the history of like why these were made this way. It goes back to baseball, which is why a lot of people call them baseball tees. And the cut was straight to the collar down to the pit because like it helped with the reach of the players instead of having it stitched like right here in the corner.
I did not know that.
So that's what I read anyway. It could be true. It makes sense. But they're comfortable. All right, it looks like we're having people join back in. Good thing. I was hoping, we wouldn't lose anybody.
Corey had already messaged me about, he's like, I'm stuck on a loop.
Yeah. I was going to try to just restart the broadcast, but that's the thing on StreamYard. When you end the live broadcast, it's done.
Over. Yeah.
And if you don't hit live, like a few weeks ago when I just fell asleep and wasn't around, it technically still saved the episode because we never went live. But once you go, and that's it. So we had an 8-second show that's floating around out there, everybody. So if you want to go back and watch that 8 seconds.
It was a very amazing, epic 8 seconds.
So this technically is episode 117.2.
Right.
I guess.
117A or B. So anyway, you guys can go if you don't like the second half, you can always go back and watch the first half of the 8 seconds.
Clean shave for No Shave November. Interestingly enough, I didn't think of that. But the thing about that is I think we both shaved before November. So it was still in October, I believe. So
we did. Well, and so I shaved because my whole family decided for Halloween to be members of the Addams family. And so I was Gomez Addams. And so Gomez Addams doesn't have a goatee. He's got a mustache. So anyway, I am rapidly trying to grow back the rest of it, but it's going to take me at least another week. So glad you noticed.
Yeah, and thanks for the comment. Thanks for joining, and thanks for interacting with us. I'm going to go ahead and give another shout out. I do this every week now, but I can't do it enough. danstoybox.com. He's trying to build his website, trying to get things going. We were talking about maybe me joining in and doing some reviews and writing some reviews for his website. So hopefully, we can get all that stuff together. We're going to get him back on at some point to talk more toys.
Well, and we know how you are, Stephen, about toys. Like,
oh yeah,
you have a well confessed addiction to buying toys.
Now, this is not some epic replica. This is something I found at Target. It is a ghost trap from Ghostbusters, but it's just a prop for a kid's costume. But of course, Halloween's over, so all the Halloween merchandise was like severely discounted, and this was $6. And it's just hollow plastic. It's one huge chunk. Nothing turns, nothing presses. I thought it was just really cool to have like sitting on a shelf or something. You know, nothing in it yet.
I thought it was a little bit jacked up, Stephen, that you had said that you were trying to catch your dad.
Hey, I mean, I'm going to find out if he's floating around here making me hit my head on stuff.
I don't think that's his fault.
Maybe not, but still. But yeah, I thought this was cool, so I got it, and I was like, let me just lay this around the house.
I mean, for $6, it does look pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just for looks, honestly. I wouldn't see myself carrying that around trick-or-treating. Now, if it opened, you could put candy in it. That'd be awesome. And they do have replicas of these that open.
That would be a really awesome candy box.
That would be. You press a button here, and then it opens up, and then maybe have some like really strong lights that just shoot up.
Right.
Maybe have a
plans for next year then.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's see. Cool toy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a good prop though. It is. It's really cool. I thought about maybe. Well, I'm not going to do it in this house since I don't own it. But if I get to buy a house at some point soon, maybe mount like some screws or something on it and just hang it on a wall, or maybe I don't know, or just build a shelf. Who knows?
They do have those command strips that you can stick onto the wall.
Yeah,
and that way you're not using a nail. So
it could be, yeah.
I'm making DIY projects for your house. I've got more than enough here at mine.
I do want like a functioning replica, not like a real life. It's going to catch a ghost, but I've seen like these high end replicas where you can actually press the button and the door opens.
Right.
They have one that actually has the pedal that you put on the ground and then step on it, and then that's blind into to here, and the thing opens, and I think it had lights up or something. I don't know. They also made like a really highly detailed proton pack that huge and probably very expensive. I'm afraid to look. Yeah, I need to build a permanent ghost trap.
Yes,
I definitely need to do that.
All right. Well, that would be really cool. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll do like I was going to say a tour of my ghost trap, but it would be just like I did. There's something I did want to bring up tonight, though. And if this happens,
what are you thinking about?
By all these. So everybody knows about Powerball. Now, this is a screenshot from the North Carolina, but
right.
Of course, the 45 states that have Powerball lottery all share the same jackpot. And it did not hit on Saturday, which was November 5th. Tomorrow night is the next drawing, and it right now is at an estimated $1.9 billion.
$1.9 billion.
Yeah, with a cash value of $929 million. So,
wow. Could you imagine?
Yeah, and even after taxes on $929 million, I could buy a real ghost trap that actually catches ghosts, probably.
I mean, you could buy one for every family in the United States and have money left over.
Wow. Okay, so Corey says that's not enough money. So, well, I mean, maybe not. But
you know what's crazy to me is $1.9 billion. I would be happy if I could get $1.9 million.
Right. Or just $1.9.
And you realize how many times more 1.9 billion is than just 1.9 million?
It's like what, 100 or something? I don't know. I'm not math. Math. Wow.
I mean, it is.
It's a lot.
It's just a ridiculous amount of money. You could not. I think you'd have trouble spending it all.
I don't know. I mean, I would buy a lot of toys.
I think you could, but you'd have trouble spending it all.
I could just buy like $900 million worth of stock in Hasbro or something. Like, I don't know.
Right. I mean, you're not far off from. Elon Musk spent $45 billion acquiring Twitter, which
And
to
then
me
changed,
seems
yeah.
which to me seems kind of ridiculous.
And then he
That
changed his
said,
mind, but they
yeah,
went back on changing his mind. It was weird.
yeah, he still ended up buying Twitter. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I think in my mind, there's a lot of good that 1.9 billion could possibly do too.
Yeah, even the cash value of 929 million, and even after taxes, which I read is about 37%. Even at that rate, you're still looking at about half of the night. So maybe like 400 million is at the worst, maybe after all your taxes and everything.
Right.
So that's
So yeah. So here's serious question for you. If you were to win the money, would you tell anybody about it?
I think I would legally have to. Because I read up on that. I wouldn't willingly like search people and say, "Hey, guess what?" But if they saw it in the paper or something, I guess I couldn't control that because they said you might be able to wear a mask. I don't know, but put on the Batman mask for my lottery picture. I think you can do that, but they will publicize your name because they said it's a matter of public record. So, but I wouldn't willingly go and tell anybody about it at all.
But you know what happens, right? When people overnight get that kind of money, everybody and their brother wants a piece of it.
Yeah.
And that's the crappy part of it. The other part of it, I don't know if you're aware, there is a such thing as the curse. There is the curse of the lotto winner.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people who have won the lottery who have wound up dead?
Or bankrupt within a year.
Yeah.
Which I think bankrupt would be better than dead, but still. There was actually a guy locally here. I didn't know the person, but I heard the stories. He won like 1.5 million, not billion, but still million, which is still quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And he was broke within like a year.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just, wow.
Yeah, but just because you have that kind of money doesn't mean you have the wisdom to use it wisely.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
If I ever do win something like that or have any significant amount of money like that all at once, it's going to be different. Like I may move to Costa Rica. I don't know.
There we go. Or we could at least get you to California with that money.
I can definitely get there. I can get there within a day.
You could have your summer home here in California.
I think I would have a winter home there.
You probably would, but
yeah.
I know what I would do, and this is a good segue into our conversation here tonight. I would probably use some of that money to keep Stargirl and a bunch of other CW shows from disappearing.
Yeah.
Because we haven't talked about that yet, about how Stargirl, I know that they're trying to put a nice positive spin on it. Jeff Johns says that, he really had only intended for it to have 3 seasons, but that's total BS.
Well, I think, I think he intended probably that they would want to do more than 3, but I think in his mind he had the 3-season arc as a story in his head, and then from there he wasn't sure. But I think the fact that story could be closed and then it would be okay, as opposed to having like a cliffhanger ending and then like wonder what could have been.
But I think we all know that the story is really just starting.
It really is.
It's just starting. Like this is like the prequel.
The CW,
they have decided that they put the gun to their own head and pulled the trigger. I don't know who's going to be left to go and watch it when they've gotten rid of all the superhero content. So I just think, number one, it's pissed off a lot of people. They're going to lose a lot of money, and one of the smart things would be if one of these other streaming platforms, whether HBO Max or Amazon or whatever, would pick up some of these shows. It would be a really, really, really smart choice.
I wonder what the legalities and the ownership of the shows themselves, the productions, because I know it's Warner Brothers and Warner and Discovery merged. So, and their Discovery Plus and HBO Max are going to merge at some point. But I don't know if CW owns the shows as productions, or if Warner Brothers owns them, or if they have a stake. Because Warner Brothers and CBS, I think, were the other original owner of CW. They still hold like a certain percentage ownership of the network,
right?
But just to keep a little bit of that money, they don't have any real control over it. It's a very small number, like 7% or something ownership. But I'm just wondering if Warner Brothers or Warner Discovery now own the rights to those shows, or if CW does. Because if CW does, and they don't want anybody else to have it, they're not going to have it. That's the unfortunate thing. But hopefully we could have versions or new versions. And, we heard Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman, so maybe that has some significance in the bigger picture. Maybe they're shifting focus from great TV to let's actually make the movies good now, which I would be fine with that. But I don't know. Superman and Lois is really the only series left on CW that is for a superhero, and they're going into it'll be their third season. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think that since they've already started filming season 3, they're at least going to be allowed to finish that out.
Yeah,
but it does make me really, really concerned, considering everything that Superman and Lois, they could be in danger.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it's inevitable. It's a matter of time, because every other it started with Arrow had nothing to do with the whole merger and everything. That was like just coincidence that happened. They ended that when they chose to end it, and then it was over. But then after that, what was the next one to go? Like maybe Batwoman.
There was Black Lightning.
Black Lightning, yeah, that was the next to go. Then Batwoman, I think after that.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Then Legends, yeah, and then they announced the Flash, and then now Stargirl, and then I really think it's going to end. I don't know when, but I think it will.
I will say that there was a time for me where I felt like the CW was high on the hog as far as superhero content. I mean, they literally had their own version of the Justice League with all their own spin-off shows, great characters, engaging writing, and I really thought they were in a great place. In fact, after Crisis on Infinite Earths, I thought, wow, we really are set to have all of our heroes on one Earth. And what did they do? They threw it all away, and that's been the most disappointing thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I found out that Superman and Lois wasn't the same Superman and Lois. I was like, because CW has had superhero content for over 20 years. Over 20 years consistently. It started with, I know I bring up Smallville a lot, but it started with Smallville in 2001, and that went until 2011. The next year, Arrow comes out, boom, and then the Flash came out in 2012, I think it was, or maybe 2012, and then 2013 was Supergirl, and then Legends was already going by that point, and then it just kept going and getting bigger, and now we're down to Superman and Lois, and here it is, 21 years later from the beginning of Smallville, and it's like, is this the end? 20 years, it's a long time to have this kind of staple on your network.
And I will say that if it's not the end, then it's going to be a serious reboot. But why not? I've always felt like it's easier to build. It's easier to build off of what you already have than to burn it all to the ground and start over.
Or maybe it could go to a different direction too, where maybe they start. I doubt this is going to happen, but it would be nice. Maybe the Flash, the movie, not the Ezra Miller Flash, but movies every couple of years instead of a TV show every single year. That could be a possibility. I doubt it. I really do, but I mean, it could be.
Part of me says that the TV universe and the movie universe have always been separate, and just because we lose the TV content that we've enjoyed doesn't necessarily mean that all of that is going to get transferred into movies.
Right.
So, and anyway.
Corey mentions that at a Comic-Con, they teased the possibility of a Smallville reunion movie that fills the gap up through Crisis. And that's true. They had a spinoff of Smallville, which it wasn't a spinoff. It was a continuation, but it was a comic book. So it was Smallville Season 11, the comic. I've got some of them. They had their own Crisis event in that comic. They had their own, monitors. They had, all this different stuff. Superman ends up with a Green Lantern ring and becomes a Green Lantern and Superman. All this stuff happened. And then Mark Guggenheim and all those guys were considering that those comics were canon with this Superman we saw in Crisis, which the Clark from Smallville. But they mentioned, at this Comic-Con, they were like, okay, yeah, we wouldn't mind going back to see what would happen with these characters now. They are working on a Smallville animated series, and that's going to have a lot of the original actors doing the voices of the characters. And it's supposed to be a continuation. But that's probably going to be like an HBO Max thing. I doubt it'll be on CW because CW is really pushing themselves away from anything. And even Warner Discovery is seems to be walking away from superhero in general because the Batgirl movie was canceled. It was finished. And they just, nope, done. We're not doing it. Spend millions of dollars making a movie to not. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Unfortunately, that's how things go whenever they do mergers and buyouts and all of that kind of stuff. It's very common for them to come in and fire everybody and do their own thing. And so, Elon Musk did that when he purchased Twitter, where he basically walked in, fired all of the executives, and we're seeing that kind of purge happen. So
got their loss, yeah.
Got their losses.
And did it for taxes, and I did hear about that too. Like the Batgirl thing was like a tax. It was cheaper for them to just cancel it and let it sit there for no one ever to see it again than it was.
Yeah,
it was something I forget, but still.
Steven, can I point out something? We've had more comments from people that we haven't seen here with the podcast in a while. And so, number one, if you're watching here tonight and it's your first time, thank you for joining in on the conversation. This is absolutely the kind of stuff that Steven and I love, is just the engagement. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, Between a Pod and a Hard Place, oh great, you're going to drive them all away.
Yep.
Put the toys away, Steven. But no, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you come back and join us for future episodes.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, thanks for joining us. I really do appreciate seeing new people. I think I had seen somebody that I interact with through Twitter who had joined on here for this as well. So it's kind of neat seeing people.
Yeah, and another thing to point out, all the people commenting tonight are commenting through YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'd like to build the YouTube up, and it's, that's another thing that really made me mad about Batgirl. They leaked Michael Keaton Batman pictures last week too for the movie, and he was going to be a big part of that movie. From what I understand, it's just.
I know. It's just like sticking a finger in your eye. Nothing we can do about it, but it is really frustrating.
Okay, you've been subscribed, but just missing the streams. Well, thank you for subscribing, and then thank you for catching us this time.
Thanks for joining us.
Maybe I need to mess up the beginning of the show more often, because it seems like when I messed it up, everybody came. So
I know, and that really is. It clearly worked.
It's the earbuds. It's the earbuds.
It is. Whatever you're doing, Steven, keep it up. It's the Hellfire Club shirt.
Yeah.
Never take it off. Just make that like your permanent uniform.
Yeah, and it's but we need to have a shirt just like this that has our podcast name and then our faces as Pops.
I love that you're planning on, merchandising, which actually, that I've still got our podcast sticker on the back of my car.
I have it on the side of my computer. I have I have an older, and I'll show it real quick. Right, here we go. It's my microphone.
Yeah.
I have this older computer tower that I got for $30. I've been using for almost 3 years, and it works fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's awesome.
Wouldn't be a bad idea though for us to start selling merch.
I got to get some new stickers put up there, because Sticker Yard. Wow, I'm thinking of StreamYard and Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule is the company that made these stickers, and they are phenomenal. They're like 3-inch round stickers, and they're very good quality. And this isn't an ad. Well, it is, I guess, technically, but they're not a sponsor of any kind. But you go on a Sticker Mule, and they got deals all the time. Like the ones, I think I got 20 of these stickers for like was like $5 or something like that.
$10. Oh wow.
It was very cheap, and I saw a deal on. I see Facebook ads all the time for them, and they had one yesterday. I think that was 10 stickers for $1. So I'm gonna get the new logo, which if you're watching right now, you can see in the upper right hand corner, right above me here. That's the same design, but like an updated, more modern type design.
Is that one the one where I am on the right coast and you're on the other one?
And it's just like our intro here too. We'll play that for a second. That's the same design. That's the updated new design that plays off the old one, but I think is more accurate, and we're on the right coasts and all that. So
yeah, and it also captures both of us with our beards in place.
Yeah. So we need to have an alternate one.
If you've never seen us with the facial hair, look at the picture. It's almost like you're looking at it, like we're looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So, I mean, there's another thing I wanted to show tonight that I made earlier today. I mentioned that I, alongside my uncle and some friends, started up the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen, and it's a YouTube thing we're starting up. And one day we're doing all kinds of things like toy review videos. Like we have all this planned video game reviews, all kinds of things like that. And I got that Batman mask. If you all watched last week, you saw that I wore the mask the entire show.
Right.
And I started doing these little videos. There are 2 of them now, where the first one was, what did I call it? Cooking with Vengeance.
Cooking with Vengeance.
Yeah, and I was cooking a frozen pizza in the microwave, like a small pizza, and it was just some goofy thing. And the pizza part is wrapped in plastic, and I'm like, don't eat the plastic, just little dumb, funny things. And you could see that at the YouTube channel. I don't have a link for it for the comments, but it's just go to YouTube, search the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen. That'll be our image right there that you see in the banner and everything. And that's on there. And I recorded one today because I've talked about, I don't know if I've talked about him in here, but one of the most subscribed people on YouTube, Mr. Beast, which Corey made a reference a minute ago, something about Mr. Beast would want to win the Powerball. Oh, wait, there it went. Where'd it go? There's his comment. Even Mr. Beast wants to win. And Mr. Beast has these candy bars now. Looking good. Oh, well, thank you,
Jen.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's talking about Steven, though.
I don't know. I was thinking she was talking about the ceiling over here because it's more exciting than I am. But yeah, he makes candy bars. His company does, and it's and I made a video of Batman eating one. So I thought I'm going to play that. It's 1 minute and 25 seconds. So just a little fun little thing to play.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out more stuff like that, you can go over to the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen not website, but YouTube. But here it is. We'll hopefully it plays well. I haven't tested it on here yet, but we'll see what happens.
Hello, and welcome back. Today, I am gonna eat candy. It's in the cabinet. Mr. Beast, let's see how this tastes. Now, all you have to do to eat the Mr. Beast original chocolate bar. You're not the first one to do these, Mr. Beast. Chocolate bars have already existed. But the first thing you have to do is read the back of the candy bar. More gnomes, more prizes, more Beast. Scan the QR code. Now, let's see how this tastes. Share. It says share. I bought this candy. It's mine. Ah! Ah! Nom nom nom. It's actually not that bad. Chocolate.
So yeah, there's that. I had fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, So, Steven, when did your voice come back after all of that? That's a lot of growling.
Yeah, that was part of the joke. Like in the first one, obviously the Batman voice, but I don't know. The first one was so funny, and I just ad-libbed everything. I didn't write a script or anything. I knew that I had a candy bar, and I knew I had the mask, and that's really all I planned. And the rest of it was just going from there. And so far, that's the second one I've done, and when I record them, I think this is dumb. Nobody's gonna like this. But then when I watch it back, I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny.
Yeah, there's definitely some humorous moments. I did love when, number one, if I'm eating a chocolate bar, I'm not taking off a little piece.
Right.
That chocolate bar would have been gone in the time it took you to take off the wrapper. And so, yeah. But I liked when you made it seem like it was poison. That was funny.
You can try Mr. Beast bar in the fridge.
You got a Mr. Beast bar?
Apparently, I don't know.
They're hiding candy in my house. That's what's happening.
Where were the other drugs? I don't know. I mean, I think Batman was on something right there.
That is for the third video. That is for the third video.
Tripping with Vengeance.
Tripping with Vengeance.
Why are there 7 unicorns?
But yeah, I don't know.
I know. I don't know why I was watching that video, Steven, and it was like you were a really, really jacked up version of Julia Child.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. The voice just kind of came out like, I mean, it was a parody of Batman because every Batman is like, except for Adam West. But I don't know. And that's a Christian Bale Batman mask anyway, so I feel like you have to do the more angry voice, and everything he does in the video, the character is with vengeance, so he's got to be angry when he does everything. Batman Tries Brothers originals, yeah. My favorite, and I'm not trying to like I'm so funny, but my favorite line that I improvised in that thing, which was every line, but when it said Mr. Beast original chocolate bar, in my head instantly it's like, this isn't the original chocolate bar. They've already existed. And I don't know. That was just...
No, I get it. Anyway, hey, I think you should keep doing them. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they're quick. The first one, I was just hungry, and I had a frozen pizza. And I was like, I'm going to cook this anyway. Just put on the mask and make a video of it and see what happens. And then it was funny. And then I felt like recording this one was not as funny. But then when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is funnier than the first one.
Yeah, but I think you really could do an entire with vengeance kind of idea, like dating with vengeance.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if I actually went on a real blind date with
sleeping with vengeance.
Get over here and turn the lights off.
I don't know, or maybe turn the lights on.
Vengeance. Right. No, turn them off. The light bill is too expensive.
I don't know. At what point this would become like BDSM or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do need to have a link for the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen. I'm going to try to find one. We don't have like a simple link, so I will put a link in the comments.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you have one?
I just had one of my backstage cast members sneak me a Mr. Beast bar.
I ruined it.
It's like I've got the Thunderbolt and I just clicked on it and made a wish. The mask stays on.
I think I ruined it. Yeah. I think they're like, why did you have to talk about Mr. Beast bars? Now we have to show our stash and everything's ruined.
I know.
The secret hiding spot. I don't know what flavor that is. But...
this is flavored chocolate.
Oh, well. Okay.
Well, I don't know if they have. It's chocolate. It's chocolate sea salt.
Okay. Oh. There are a few different ones. There's like original chocolate, then there's milk chocolate, then they have chocolate sea salt, and then there's like a crunchy one.
You guys won't blame me if I like have a snack right here in the middle of the episode.
I mean, technically, I did already, even though it was pre-recorded.
You videotaped it. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my Mr. Beast bar right now, and just kind of avert your eyes.
And we can see what a normal person reacts and how the normal person reacts, because I know when I did one with Batman, it was really weird. And they're not bad, honestly. They do have a slighter, more of a bitter type taste, but not too bitter. It's not like dark chocolate where it's just like licking dirt. Sorry for dark chocolate lovers, but I do like a sweeter chocolate myself. But
gotta say, I've eaten a lot of chocolate bars. It's a good one.
It is pretty good. I know they have them at, I don't know what other locations, but I know they have them at Walmarts around here. Um, this guy he started making videos on YouTube when he was like 13 or something, and he was just playing like Minecraft and different games and talking about them. And then now he is probably the most subscribed YouTube channel in the world. He has over 100 million subscribers, I believe. And most of his videos, they say, take $1 to $4 million to produce. And sponsorships and everything else. The guy could be a billionaire if he didn't have such expensive videos. I just saw what he posted a couple of days ago where instead of candy, he gave away iPhones at trick-or-treating. And those are like, what, $1,500 or something ridiculous like that.
I am clearly trick-or-treating in the wrong neighborhood, Steven.
Yeah. He lives somewhere in North Carolina. I do know that.
Really?
Not close to me. Probably it's more east, like towards like the center of the state, probably 3 or 4 hours away from me. I don't know.
I mean, Steven, I think it's time for you just to commit. Like, you need to go and do a pilgrimage next Halloween. Right?
Go to
and
his
then
house and like
trick-or-treating with vengeance. Trick-or-treat.
Trick or treat. And then he's like, you don't get an iPhone, you get a Tootsie Roll. Or I'll be the one guy. He's like, you're too old.
He would drive all that way to get a Tootsie Roll.
Gotta go. We're glad you caught it too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining in.
And we'll be back again here next week.
Yeah, I don't want to say every Sunday because sometimes we do kind of skip weeks and things like that.
Sometimes we oversleep.
Yeah, sometimes. I haven't taken a daytime nap or a nap in general since that day because I don't trust it anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with our time change that we just had. It feels so much later than it is.
I know. Time change is brutal.
Yeah, it's worse going the other way. I do prefer summertime, but it's worse when you have to go forward and forget. You're always late for everything.
I know.
That's me.
So, Steven, I did want to talk about Stargirl just for a second.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to kind of give like my guess about what's going to happen next. You know that in the last episode of Stargirl, both Mike and Jakeem end up stumbling upon the Ultra-Humanite, who we found has been the one who's been observing everybody in Blue Valley all this time. What nobody seems to be talking about is how in the comics, the Ultra-Humanite takes control of Johnny Thunder and the Thunderbolt through the pink pen. And my guess is that at some point here in Stargirl, that's exactly what's going to happen.
I think, yeah. I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. Well, something like that anyway. I don't know. I can't say exactly how it's going to happen. But
could you imagine, though, the power of Thunderbolt being controlled by arguably one of the smartest characters in existence?
That would be crazy.
I mean, he's reportedly smarter than Lex Luthor.
And speaking, I have the link for the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen here in the comments. I don't know. You can't click it through this, but if you're watching on YouTube, it might be clickable. Not to take away from what we're talking about, but I wanted to mention that it's on there. And it's actually an old YouTube channel that my uncle had that we converted into the Council of Nerdy Gentlemen. But that should be the link that you can go to check out the stuff.
Great.
But yeah, Stargirl, I forgot it was on again, like I always do. And I watched like 2 episodes, I think. And I just saw the most recent one, I think. I watched it earlier today, maybe. Or yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, when fall rolls around, there's a lot of shows on that I catch up with. But I'm liking it. I really am. And, Pat coming out of the Shadowlands, talking about like what he saw and realizing he's being like not a bad father, but kind of like neglecting Mike and all this. Oh man, it's good. You know that's gonna have some deep. Something's gonna happen, and we're probably a little over halfway through the season, which is the last season. So
I know. I've got to say, I know that Luke Wilson often gets overshadowed by his more famous brother. However, I really find that his portrayal of Pat as Stripesy, I really, really, really like what he brings to the show.
Yeah, he's great. You wouldn't think of Luke Wilson as a good serious actor. Nor would you think that of Owen Wilson. They're both kind of comedy actors, or at least have been. And they've both been in serious things, but I don't know. He's great, and his nose hasn't been broken 12 times. But no, I mean, they kind of sound alike. They look alike. They're both great. I was hoping that maybe Owen Wilson at some point could join in the show and be a guest. And how cool would it have been if he was the voice of Thunderbolt? It's like, no, you have to use the magic carefully. I don't know.
Well, when considering how often they keep changing up the actor who plays Thunderbolt, chances are good.
Yeah. I mean, I do like Seth Green. I think he's great. I don't know what happened with Jim Gaffigan. I thought he was great for it, but maybe it was other things. Maybe there were other commitments and he couldn't do it. But either way, I think they're both great for it. Or maybe they were just like, I wish you had a different voice. And I don't know.
Here's also what I wonder is that we had Jim Gaffigan voicing it when the pen was with Mike, and then it switches to Jakeem. I wonder if their idea was that the voicing of the Thunderbolt also changed when it hops owners.
That's a good thought. Now I can't help but think of other actors who would be funny as the Thunderbolt voice. Like, what if an old man got it and it was Christopher Walken suddenly?
Oh, that was exactly what I was thinking. Christopher Walken.
Well, we know Corey is here.
I know.
Magic is great. I don't know. That's not a very good impression, but
or maybe it's sort of like a like from Star Trek, the Captain Kirk version, like.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Oh my gosh.
Magic. It is so hard.
Yeah. Or like if Leonard Nimoy, like, that's illogical. Or yes, I'm not good at voices. Now I'm like, what if Beavis from Beavis and Butthead was Thunderbolt? Like, so like, do you want to wish for boobs or something? I don't know. It would be cool if that were the case. They're not Beavis, but that was a joke. But if that show would get canceled quicker, they would be like, no, you can't finish season 3. You're done now. But no, we unfortunately probably won't get to figure that out because this is the last season. But unless Mike gets it back before the end of the season, maybe Jakima's like, I don't like it here, and he gives it back to him or whatever. Maybe Jim Gaffigan comes back. I don't know, but that would have been cool moving forward if like anybody else got the pen, if the voice did change. Like, I don't know, Mike Judge, King of the Hill. It's like, oh, you want to wish for propane, don't you, boy? No, charcoal, blah. I don't know. Oh gosh,
there are so many options, right? Yeah, Steven's gonna pull something.
Uses the pen to create Gideon, maybe. That would be cool.
At this point, that's the only chance that we have that's going to happen.
Maybe Jakeem is like, I wish Barry and Iris would sleep together, and then that's how they end up doing it.
Or maybe I wish that Barry and Iris would have children already.
Yeah, I mean they're on their last year, so
I wish that Barry and Iris could reproduce by budding.
We are the Flash.
Yeah, because for everything that they have to say about how there are no problems between Barry and Iris, or Candace Patton and Grant Gustin, they sure, for a couple that says they love each other, They spend a lot of time apart.
There was the one time they tried, and then who was it? Ray Palmer came to visit, and he interrupted them. But aside from that, you don't see him trying.
No.
So
we'll have to see. We'll have to see if Eric Wallace can work his magic.
Maybe that's the HBO Max version where they actually really get. Okay, I'm going down the wrong path here. That would get a lot of views, probably though.
I know. Between a pod and a hard place after dark.
Yeah. Between a pod and a really hard place.
I know.
So,
yeah, it was more like between a pod and a soft place.
Times are tough.
I know. Got to make it an honest buck here, guys.
Inflation isn't happening in that way. Boom. We need a guy in the background with drums.
I know. We'll get ourselves blocked at some point here. All right. I did want to make sure that we talk tonight about Titans.
We'll touch on it a little bit.
So
and we'll go more in depth maybe next week on it, but I definitely do want to at least address it at some point.
Yeah, it's funny. Some people have like differing views about Titans. I really, really like it. I've enjoyed it. I think that they have a more mature version of what we used to see with Teen Titans.
Yes.
Some of the issues that I had with characters in the past, particularly like with Beast Boy, he's certainly using his powers a lot more, and he's not just the tiger. I think we saw him turn into an octopus, and even into a gorilla here in this episode. So,
yeah, and it's something they're doing that's pretty creative. Well, maybe cost effective. We're not really seeing a lot of these transformations. We're just seeing him black out and wake up. Like the first time when they're at Star Labs, and how cool was that? They were in Star Labs,
right?
Of course, way different Star Labs than what we know, but still, it's Star Labs,
right? Well, it was Star Labs in Metropolis.
Yeah, that's different. That's true. I didn't think about that. You're right, because they went to Metropolis to meet Superman, and Superman apparently works at Star Labs. I kind
of get the idea that Star Labs is a bit like Starbucks, that they've got Star Labs in every major city.
It could be, or then again, maybe this universe, since we know it's on Earth,
right? It's not Star Lab, it's Star Labs, so it makes sense.
True,
and there could be more than one.
That is true too. I didn't think about that. That's interesting. Or maybe they call it Star Labs because there's more than one lab in the one facility. I don't know. Either way, they go there to meet Superman, and because Superman wants to meet Connor, which I love the fact that they're diving more into his character. They're developing it more. We got to almost see Superman, and then we saw Lex Luthor. And when I first saw the image of Lex Luthor at a distance, I saw the beard and the bald head. I'm like, it's John Cryer? Oh, my God. But then when they really got close to him and he started talking, I'm like, turned it off.
That's not John Cryer.
I almost wanted to turn it off, but then I was like, okay, he's not terrible. This new guy that's playing Lex isn't that bad.
So the guy who's playing it, Titus Welliver, he's not a bad Lex Luthor. I think that part of it comes down to that we've had Lex Luthors, like Jonathan Rosenbaum from Smallville, who's done Lex. And again, we both have loved John Cryer and seen that character with Supergirl. So I think it's easy for us to kind of go in there and say that that this version of Lex Luthor should be like them, but he's not. And that said, I think I like he's less showy and extravagant. But I thought he did a good job. It's sad to me, unfortunately, that if you are one of the major players that gets brought into the show, typically they end up either doing a very quick cameo. Like they did the same thing when it came to Batman, that we never see. We see Bruce Wayne, but we never really see Bruce Wayne as Batman. And they did the same thing with Superman, that Connor was supposed to meet Superman, and instead, Superman has to leave Connor a note, and he's off planet doing something.
Yeah.
And so they sort of do the same thing. Introduce one of the great villains of all time, only to kill him off in the episode 1. So
my thought too was, that was the first episode of the season, and I was like, and I forgot that Titans comes out once a week. I'm like, only 2 episodes, because by the time I started, there were 2,
right?
And I watched them both, but I was like, really, that's it? And I forgot. But it's good that way because it paces itself, and you're not binging them in a day. But yeah, I was excited. I saw that first episode, then he drops dead. I'm just like, wait a minute, why? But then again, we've seen people get resurrected on that show several times. Right. And in general, in superhero world, comic book world, nobody ever stays dead 100%.
No, especially Lex Luthor. I mean, he's got more lives than a cat.
There could be a clone Lex. And every version of Lex you've seen, he's had some kind of disease or illness or something or his father does. Like in Smallville, his father, Lionel Luthor, had like a disease. He was dying. And then, of course, he did like a Freaky Friday with Clark, and he got his powers, and then that cured him. And there's several other versions of Luthor's that have got some kind of disease, and he was going to die anyway. But I just love that whole story because it is more serious, and I like that darker grittiness. It feels more like DC than Disney Channel DC, which is what CW pretty much is. But I mean, it's so good stuff. But the darker, grittier characters in Beast Boy, I love how what do you think about that thing in his hand and his suit now, where he doesn't have to get naked to transform?
I think it was about time, frankly.
Yeah.
That he's able to do that, and again, him having to get out of his clothes in order to transform, that was hilarious.
You better stand there. Hold on a minute. Let me get my shoes. Like, that whole thing. I loved when he did transform, and you can kind of see it was a nod to the Teen Titans cartoon and the comics, I guess, too, where you could see the Beast Boy, like the cartoon version of him, and he was green, he had the fangs, and like, I thought that was really cool. Seeing that for a split second when he went to transform, I was like, whoa, it's the Beast Boy from the thing. And I really wish we could have seen him as a gorilla, because a big green gorilla running around smashing things, that would have been awesome.
Well, I think we're going to see that.
We probably will.
Yeah, they're teasing it right now, and he's, one of the issues of his powers has been that, when he transforms, sometimes he gets lost in the animal that he's transforming into. So we're seeing that kind of that downside to him, exploring more angles of his powers.
And there's some kind of connection there too to this other evil thing that they think they stopped. The thing that was making all the snakes come up out of everybody's throats. That was the ending of the episode 2, I believe, where they think they stopped him, and then you notice Rachel gets knocked out, and her little gem goes away. So it's almost like that weird magical energy or whatever she got at the end of the last season, like maybe neutralized. Who knows? There's definitely something after that.
There is. So I think first and foremost is that we've got this introduction of Brother Blood.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like this dream walker kind of character, where he's able to, whether it's the spiritual realm or dreams or whatever, but being able to travel through them, manipulate people through them. It seems to be a pretty dangerous, lethal character. Anybody that can go toe to toe with Rachel and kind of hold her in check is going to be dangerous.
And even stop her, really, because we don't know what kind of state she's in. She was knocked out and the episode was over. But I mean, like, that signified losing that gem in her head. Like, that really signified something serious, I think.
Right. We also know that Mother Mayhem is the character who is she's the witch that had been working right along with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And so, and we find that with that staff, she is somehow able to absorb Rachel's powers. So that was interesting to see kind of go about. We also saw a change in Rachel's hair. She's gone from her normal color to white.
Yeah.
And in some ways, that seems um, like a like she's been drained. Whereas I've heard a number of people say that Raven's white form is her most powerful form. So I don't know why she sounds uh, like an anime character that is powering up Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Right. Kamehameha. But no, I think that's going to be really neat to see Raven. Number one, more of a light Raven instead of being powered by the darkness, being powered by the light. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I think season 4 has given us a lot of neat things to see what's going on.
I hope that we know that I forgot his name already. The new Robin.
So you're talking about Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Yeah. Why could I not think of that? I just watched that episode and I know the character. Total weird moment there, but yeah, Tim Drake. He's gotten his new bow staff. His thing. His new from Star Labs. Got his Cisco made it for him. Well, maybe not Cisco, but
right.
We're seeing him kind of learn the combat and everything, starting to train a little bit. I'm hoping it's not one of those cases where we go to the very end of the season and the very last episode, he's like, Dick goes, "Here's your Robin suit," and he's like, "Oh yay!" And then the season's over. I want to see him as Robin in this season.
So here's the thing, and I think that it is big. Dick has always blamed Bruce about bringing on proteges to manipulate and control, and I think that when Bruce had told him, "Be a better Batman," I think he took that seriously. That he doesn't want to just start bringing in another person to wear the Robin costume and just weaponize their grief and sadness like Batman did.
Yeah,
I think he also wants um, Tim to kind of understand how big and dangerous this is. This isn't just a game. If you put on that costume, if you become Robin, there are serious consequences that come with being a Titan.
Yeah. I mean, I also know, Tim is kind of stubborn, so he does his own thing, and he wants to do this, he wants to do that. I think there might be a chance that he tries to wear the suit anyway. Maybe they show him a suit, and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "No, you have to earn it," or whatever. And then he's like, "I'm gonna get that suit." And I don't know. I'm eager to see Robin because we haven't seen a Robin on the show. We have Dick Grayson, who was the original Robin, but he's Nightwing, so he was kind of Robin in the beginning, but it was that transition stage. I want to see Batman too. And I want to see Batman
the problem that we've got is that Batman essentially has, for all intents and purposes, Batman at this point has retired.
Yeah.
So he's still alive. Diane. Wonder Girl had saved him.
Yeah,
He's alive, but I don't think he's going to be putting on the cowl anytime soon.
No, but I feel like Dick could graduate into Batman, and it would be fine for this show. Nobody would get too mad that he becomes Batman because he was Batman for a minute. I think in the comics at some point. I know, remember,
but he does seem very averse to putting that mask on. He really does seem to like being Nightwing far more. And other than the fact that wearing the cowl would protect his neck and his head,
so
he wouldn't have an easy kill shot. I think that staying Nightwing is probably going to be what he does, at least for the time being.
Probably. I think eventually we may see him as Batman, or it would be teased. It's already been teased, but I mean, I don't know. We may or may not see that happen. The Superman thing, though, that really irritated me, which I didn't expect to see him. I'm like, there's no way they're going to show him. And then they showed him the satellite, like 3D projected satellite thing or whatever, the video, and you see him, but he's just a little blur in space.
It reminded me. I know. It reminded me a lot of watching Supergirl, and instead of seeing Superman, she would text message him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can fly super fast. You could be there before the text message arrives.
Yeah.
The idea that you have to text message Superman, and where exactly does Superman keep his cell phone?
And it's there's a I don't know.
Right. I guess that's one reason why he wears his underwear on the outside of his pants.
Back pocket. There's a back pocket in his belt because you never see it because it's covered by the cape.
So I think that's probably anyway. For me, that was there. We have this thing about kind of nerfing Superman or teasing Superman and then pulling it away at the last minute. So we'll see what happens, whether or not they're actually going to give us Superman. What is interesting when I look at the cast of characters, I don't see anybody who is cast as playing Superman, at least slated to. We are supposed to get. Slade Wilson as Deathstroke to appear in season 4, and kind of cool that's coming up in season 4 is that Brooke Basinger from Stargirl is supposed to show up.
Oh wow!
And do a cameo. I don't know at what point she shows up, but I'm really excited about that.
What if we see Stargirl is ending this year? It's their last season. She's going to cameo in Titans, and by the time they record that, Supergirl is probably going to be over. Much like how Ryan Wilder's Batwoman is going to be Red Death and Flash coming up.
Right.
We see Stargirl go to Titans, which is a hugely different atmosphere, very more mature language, violence. Wouldn't it be so cool to see like Starman and all these other characters kind of pop up in that more mature world, so they're not like, "Is everyone okay? I just want a hug. Can we have a cookie?" And then see how they actually act in that show.
Right.
Just like,
right.
I want to kick your ass instead of like, "Would you like a cookie?" Like, I don't know. It would just very big.
I guess the question for me comes down to, is it just simply a cameo where it's like we see her for 5 seconds, or is this like an introduction that goes someplace?
I wish it would go someplace, but who knows? It would be cool if they had Stargirl join the Titans. I don't know if that was ever a thing in comics or shows, but like, does it matter?
It's never stopped them before.
Right. So does it really matter if she was? I don't see little Courtney running around like swearing at everybody and all that kind of stuff. She'll be like, "Why do you guys have to be so angry all the time?"
But I think that there are characters in Titans who are
I kind of am describing that, I guess.
Well, and Blue Valley is sort of Pleasantville. I mean, when we're first introduced to them and everybody greets you and looks you in the eye, it's like they had gotten sucked into a time warp. That's why I knew we were on a different Earth, because people were acting like they did in the 50s and not the 90s.
Right. I don't know. I think it would be really cool if that did go somewhere though with her.
I agree. It would be.
She doesn't. She doesn't have to be a rated R character necessarily, just because of the rest of them are. But
wouldn't it be hilarious if we see her on Titans, all for Breck Basinger to drop an F-bomb
Oh my! I would love that so much.
She's like, "Don't touch my fucking staff."
Yes. Or that's like, I don't even think they've said bitch on Stargirl, have they?
Well,
Like,
and because it
mildly.
is a family show, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
that is the idea. And there's a rather youthful, more wholesome quality. The fact they don't kill, um,
Mhm.
unless they absolutely have to. I think that all of that. Whereas the Titans don't have such problems about killing people.
No, Jason Todd. I mean, come on, that season 3 was amazing.
It was.
I loved it. I loved every
Yeah.
second of it. I mean, and I want to see Jason come back, like see Red Hood join as a good guy, because I mean, once he became Red Hood and split away, he really did kind of stay like his own thing, but he did kind of come back. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't just
Right.
evil the entire time. So
Right.
But that would be so cool to see that character go from Stargirl go over and drop an F-bomb or something, or it's not the type of show for it, but like she starts to say it, like what the, and then she looks to the camera. What, you're not gonna cut away, like with that fourth wall moment? But
Right.
it's not that show, but still, that would be funny.
Yeah, I think that my guess is going to be that with all of the focus on magic and power, that we know that the main magical villain, Mother Mayhem, that she does, she keeps saying the Azarath Metreon Zinthos.
Yeah.
That's always sort of been like Raven's catchphrase. I'm going to guess that at the end of this season, Raven is going to reclaim that for herself.
I wonder if she's going to be all dark and evil, like kind of like the more, because the Titans version of her seems more lighthearted than the cartoon Teen Titans. I mean, I know,
I think we're, yeah. No, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see a good balance between the dark and light elements in Raven.
Yeah. A moment ago, Corey did make a good point. I'll throw that up here again. Didn't she do that in the season 2 with Courtney doing the whole what, and then it cuts off? Like,
right.
Maybe that's where her appearance on Titans comes in. It starts off with fuck, like, and it's just like a continuation of that scene. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. Hey, I feel like we've covered everything we need to cover here tonight, and despite our snafu, here we are. An hour later, we've made it. Yeah, we've had some good guests and people that have checked us out, and hopefully they come back and watch us again next week.
And if anybody out there is wanting to spend about $100 to $120 randomly on me for no reason, or either of us, you can go and buy this. It's the Lego Office set. And I had it in a cart at Walmart the other day, knowing I couldn't afford to buy it in the moment, but I wanted to carry it around and pretend for a minute.
Right. Well, since we're in Dreamland and asking people for money, you can just simply go ahead and send me money. I'll take cash, or you can always just
PayPal or whatever.
Yeah, I'm good. Any of those, if you want to sell it to me, I'm totally okay with you giving me money too. So
I just think that's a really cool set. I mean, I love Lego stuff, and I love The Office, and it has 15 minifigures.
I also want to throw this out there that if you're watching this and you win that 1.9 billion,
yes,
we're looking for a sponsor. We wouldn't mind making a sticker with your image and putting you with the ticker at the bottom of our page, just to help spread the word about how awesome you are. So if you
have just like danstoybox.com, you can have
there we go. There. So again, I feel like if you win the 1.9 billion, hey, show us some love.
That's a lot of money there.
It is.
And it's drawing tomorrow night. I don't know why I'm promoting the lottery, but I mean,
right, because no one's ever heard of it before, Stephen.
No, they haven't. And OnlyFans is hiring. I have my application in. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed.
Corey is going to be doing an OnlyFans.
Oh, geez. Okay, well, I'll when I win the lottery, I'll subscribe, but I'm not going to watch it. But I'll subscribe just to help you out.
Yeah, Corey's going to have an OnlyFans. That's how he's going to make his 1.9 billion. is with his OnlyFans. Yeah.
That and the $30,000 Uber rides.
Right.
You can come pick me up to whatever. And I'll tell you what, if I win that money, I'll have Corey Uber me all the way, or Uber himself, I guess, all the way here, then drive me all the way back there, and then back and back again. That's going to cost me like $20,000 for that ride. But I mean,
Stephen, what you could do is you could buy a fleet of planes. You could train Corey to fly and pilot your own private jet, and then he could come pick you up in your private jet and fly you back and forth.
Oh wow, singing and clipping toenails. I might watch that once or twice.
I've seen it. It's pretty amazing.
I should get a helicopter instead of a private jet. Helicopter would be great because then it could just, whatever house I have, I could get a helipad on the roof and just boom, run on the roof, not have to worry about traffic to get to the airport.
That would be great. You could land on my roof, Stephen, and then wind up in my living room.
We need to install like a fire pole in your roof so that there's like a little phone booth. Yeah.
No, we're putting the fire pole in my bedroom.
Okay, well, I don't want to slide into that, but maybe we'll put two in. I don't know.
Right. I mean, who doesn't want a fire pole?
And if we have superhero costumes, we need to slide down them separately so we're not like naked at the same time.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking?
Yeah. They weren't called the dynamic duo for nothing.
That's the sound they made. Okay, so that would be a good point.
Yeah, I feel like once we reach the naked sliding down a fire pole, conversation, that's time for us to sign off.
It is. So everybody,
it's been great. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next time. We'll dive more, I guess, in depth to Titans a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
On the first episode. All right, everybody, have a good week. Go get a Mr. Beast bar and subscribe to Council of Nerdy Gentlemen, and continue to subscribe to us if you haven't already, and like, comment, share, all that stuff.
All right, adios.
See you guys. Bye.